heard you need a new credit card, but you feel like you're just drowning in options. Me too. Well, there's both some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that you could wind up getting a credit card that charges you to stay open every single year, charges you a ton of interest, and ultimately damages your credit worthiness. The good news is that I'm gonna lay everything out for you in this video, so that way you understand why you need a credit card, how to use it, which one to get, and most importantly, how to smash the like button right there for some extra brownie points. So first, why do you actually need a credit card? I'm sure you've seen or heard of a certain bald man who will yell at you if you even think about getting a credit card. Seriously though, I like Dave Ramsey. I think he's a great guy. I just don't agree with him on this stance of no credit cards, absolutely none, never. And that's because if you're ever planning on needing to finance a car or a home or a boat or a business or anything like that, you're going to need a credit score in order to get the best interest rate possible and ultimately save you money. Now, building your credit score can be somewhat of a tricky task because in order to build your credit, you need a credit card or some line of credit. But in order to get a credit card, you need a credit score. So you can see how this is tricky. Your credit score is built on a couple of different factors, and the higher your credit score, the lower the interest rate that you're gonna get on any sort of loan that you're applying for. But the three biggest factors are number one, your payment history, which is just making sure that you're paying off your card or your loan on time every month. Number two is the amount owed on your accounts or your utilization ratio. And the goal here is really not to be using more than 30 to 50% of your available credit. For example, if you have a credit line of $10,000, don't keep a revolving balance on it of more than $3,000 to $5,000 because the credit bureaus who manage your score don't want to see you maxing out your credit lines every month, even if you're paying them off on time. And the third factor is the amount of time that you've had credit history. The longer, the better. And this is why choosing your first credit card is so important, because if you close down your first credit card, which will be the one that you've had the longest, your credit score is going to decrease. Okay, so let's actually look at what credit cards to get. The Discover Secured credit card is always rated as one of the top picks for people that don't have any credit, and especially people that have bad credit. And that's because with a secured credit card, you're actually going to be depositing money with the credit card company, but don't worry, it's 100% refundable. And then the credit card company will issue you a credit line that is equal to the deposit that you gave them. And they really just do this because this is how they mitigate risk for people that they don't know if they're going to be credit worthy, or if they've shown that they're not credit worthy in the past, but are trying to rebuild their credit. So with this card, you're going to need a minimum credit score of, well, 0. And while most secured credit cards don't have any rewards whatsoever, with the Discover Secured card, you're going to get 2% cash back on up to $1,000 per quarter at restaurants and gas stations, and 1% rewards on everything else. Also, Discover will automatically match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year with no minimums and no maximums. So basically what this means is if you earned $100 in cashback rewards, they're going to double it so you get $200. And after 8 months, Discover will evaluate your account to see if you qualify to get your security deposit refunded. But keep in mind, this is very important, that they will only refund your money if you comment down below. This is true. And next up, also from Discover, is the Discover Student Cashback Rewards card. Now, if you don't have any credit history at all, I would recommend going out and applying for this card because oftentimes you can get approved even if you don't have credit history. This was my very first card. I applied with no credit, I got approved, and I still have this card open to this day. And this card offers 5% cash back in rotating categories on up to $1,500 in spending per quarter. All other purchases earn 1%, and you get the same unlimited cashback match bonus from Discover. This card is definitely a winner, and I've never had any issues with it. Now for a really cool card, and it's called the PETAL 2 Cashback Visa card. What makes this card so cool is it doesn't have any fees. No annual fees, no late fees, nothing. Zilch, nada. But seriously though, even if you miss a payment or you're late, you won't be paying any late fees. It's crazy, right? And that's because PETAL doesn't only rely on credit scores to determine eligibility. Instead, it assesses your credit worthiness based on your income, expenses, savings, and debts. You can earn a decent rate of up to 1.5% cash back depending on your on-time payments. And you don't have to pay late fees or foreign transaction fees. You get a credit limit from $500 to $10,000, and they do soft credit checks so applying doesn't impact your score. They also give you 1% cash back on eligible purchases right away, and up to that 1.5% after making 12 on-time monthly payments. And as a bonus, you're going to be getting 2 to 10% cash back on select merchants. Now, this is definitely a card to look into, and I wish I knew about the PETAL card when I was getting my first credit card. Now, as far as the game plan moving forward, I would actually recommend that you apply to all 3 of these credit cards, make some small charges on each one, and pay off the balance consistently for about 6 months or so. And the reason to do this with all 3 credit cards instead of just one, it's going to increase your credit score a lot faster having 3 lines of credit open versus just having 1. Now I'm going to introduce you to some credit cards that actually have some sign-up bonuses. And I would recommend applying to these next 3 credit cards after you've spent 6 months with the last 3 credit cards I mentioned. And with the CITI Custom Cash credit card, you're going to earn $200 when you spend $750 in your first 3 months. They don't have an annual fee, and you earn 5% cash back on purchases in your top eligible spending category up to the first $500. And you earn unlimited 1% cash back on all other purchases. And to get this credit card, you're going to need a credit score in the high 600s, which you should have no problem after spending 6 months building your credit score with the other 3 cards I mentioned. Now for one of my favorite credit cards that's still in my wallet after many years, the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. This card also doesn't have an annual fee, and you get a $200 reward after only spending $500 in the first 3 months. You earn 5% cash back on travel purchased through Chase Ultimate Rewards, 3% on dining including takeout and drugstores, and 1.5% on all other purchases. This card is known in the industry to be a great all-arounder card, especially because of that 1.5% cash back on all purchases. Now, before I mention the last credit card, make sure to subscribe right there, and you're also going to notice that I haven't mentioned interest rates on any of these cards. And that's because the proper way to use a credit card is not to pay any interest at all, and the way you do that is just by paying off your balance in full every single month. And if you use a credit card like that, you're not going to pay any interest, you're going to earn points, you're going to earn rewards, and it's going to build your credit score all at the same time. And the grand finale card, the American Express Blue Cash Preferred Card. Now, you may know that American Express cards are known for their annual fees, and this one is no different. But it's waived for the first year, which is why I'm recommending it. And what you can do is you can get this card, the fee is waived for the first year, and if you don't find that you're getting all the benefits you need to justify the annual fee, you can cancel it before it's renewed. So now you're probably wondering,
what do I get with a credit card that I actually have to pay for?
Well, quite a bit it turns out. And that's because you're gonna earn a whopping 20% back on Amazon.com purchases in your first 6 months up to $200. Basically, that means if you spend $1,000 on Amazon within 6 months, you're gonna get $200 back. You also earn $200 back after spending $3,000 in your first 6 months on the card. You're going to earn 6% cash back on supermarkets up to $6,000, another 6% cash back on 31 different streaming services, and some of these include Netflix, Prime Video, Apple Music, Spotify, Disney Plus, Audible, Hulu, HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, YouTube Premium, and a bunch more. And you're also gonna get 3% cash back on gas stations, ride sharing, and transit. And those are the 6 best beginner credit cards. Make sure to click on this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.